is getting into that Grammys talk, man. It's a Grammy season. The hip hop / rap categories have been released, and I'll be giving my thoughts on those. And I want to start with the rap album of the year. Clipse, Let God Sort 'Em Out, Glorilla, Glorious, Jid, God Does Like Ugly, Kendrick Lamar, GNX, and Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia. Do you give it to Clipse or do you give it to Kendrick? For me, it's down to Clipse or Kendrick. I mean, considering what Clipse did, I think they had an amazing rollout when you think about their interviews, their performances, even before and after music videos. Like, everybody knew they were coming with it. I think they had the hype of just the simple fact that they dropped an album for the first time in it was like since 2009, right? So like they had all the recipe of having like a highly anticipated album. And then once it dropped, they delivered. It was high quality. Features were good. Verses were good. You got people saying Malice is the rap MVP of 2025. So like, it's hard to beat Clipse, even if you're Kendrick Lamar, who had a great GNX album, right? I think for Kendrick, I think he really did it for California. He really did it for LA. He really did it for the culture over there. And had a lot of hits, right? And he wasn't trying to be deep, philosophical, or anything like that. It wasn't like a crazy concept album like Mr. Morale or a lot of his past albums. It was really just something that was a lot more lighthearted, even though it did contain a lot of deep messages in it. When you look at Reincarnated, Man at the Garden, right? It was a lot of deep, introspective stuff like that. And again, it was great, but I do think Clipse is going to have the edge here just because of the overall, like, again, they pull you in with the heartstrings, with Birds Don't Sing, right? They have a lot of the classic Clipse, mafioso. Well, maybe not mafioso, but like luxury rap, heavy songs and whatnot. They had the bars, obviously, right? They did their thing. I think JID would be an honorable mention. I think in this category, again, being up against heavyweights like Clipse and Kendrick Lamar, it's hard for JID to get the W in this category, but I definitely think he's third place. The thing about it is that Tyler, the Creator, is also in this category, and a lot of what he does gets a lot of fanfare. So I wouldn't be surprised if even he edges out JID. But I would love that top three. If it was me, I would love that top three to be Clipse, Kendrick, JID, Tyler, and then Glorilla. Again, there's no diss to Glorilla. I just feel like she's in a tough category here. When you think about a lot of the albums that dropped this year, it's awesome that she's in the running, that she's nominated. I just think she's unfortunately subject to a stacked category. If it was me, I'm picking Clipse or Kendrick, but I think Clipse runs with this one. Or I shouldn't say runs with it, but they're probably going to win this one. The next category is Best Rap Song, and the nominees for Best Rap Song are the aforementioned The Birds Don't Sing by Clipse featuring John Legend and Voices of Fire. We got Anxiety by Doechii, TGIF by Glorilla, TV Off, Kendrick Lamar, Lefty Gunplay, and then we got Sticky, Tyler, the Creator, featuring Glorilla, Sexy Red, and Lil Wayne. All right. So first off, my immediate thought was that Anxiety isn't necessarily a rap song. All right. I think it just barely makes it because there are moments in between where Doechii is rapping, right? She ain't singing. She's rapping. But for the majority of that song, she is singing. She is getting in her bag and did an entirely different song compared to what she does as a MC, right? And because it's Doechii and she did a little bit of rapping, it fits this category. But I just can't help but consider this a pop song, or like, to me, it just doesn't scream best rap song. If we're gonna call it best rap song, you gotta be rapping. And Doechii's got a lot of other songs where she is rapping. Anxiety is not that. Great song. Love what Doechii did with it. Love the music video, right? Love the story behind it. But I just don't categorize it as best rap song. Okay. Clipse, I think, again, this is one of those ones where they're probably going to win because it pulls the heartstrings, right? They talk about the passing of their parents, right? And the perspective of each, right? That's automatically pulling the heartstrings, right? And then I think even Glorilla, right? She got a banger this year. You couldn't walk 2 steps without hearing TGIF, right? Even if it ain't 90, 95 degrees or whatever she said in the song. you gonna play that record. And the thing is, anxiety is on the same playing field. You could not take two steps. You could not blink your eyes without hearing this song. Right? So Clipse, they got some hefty competition here if the Grammys are just going off virality and popularity, not substance. Right? Even the last song, right? Sticky, that just got too much going on. Catchy as heck, but again, I would not categorize that as the best rap song of the year. To me, I mean, like, come on. I feel like they could have went underground. They could have went anywhere and found a last nominee other than Sticky. I just have to be 100. I have to be 100. I just think that song is doing way too much and isn't even featuring a lot of dope verses. If I'm being 100, it's just a catchy song, so they threw it in here as best rap song. So if they lean towards hip hop, I think they go Clipse, Doechii, Glorilla, Kendrick, Tyler. I think Doechii wins if they go off popularity and virality. I think Doechii edges out Glorilla. But if they keep it hip hop and they really trying to do it justice, I think Clipse can get this award as well. But this is going to be closer than you would think. This is going to be because Clipse is fighting against two of the literally the biggest songs of the year. And then I didn't even mention TV Off, right? Like TV Off, again, for its time, that little stint when it was hot, it was great. But again, it's just not on the level of TGIF, in my opinion. It's not on the level of anxiety as far as virality and fanfare, and obviously it's just not as substance based as the birds don't sing. But again, it's got the quote. It's probably got the best quote out of all of these. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, right? Like, again, this is a tough group, but I do think this is either going to go to Clipse or Doechii. And then we got the nominees for best rap performance: Cardi B, Outside; Clipse featuring Kendrick, Chains and Whips; Doechii, Anxiety; Kendrick Lamar, Let the Gunplay; TV Off; Tyler the Creator featuring Tizo Touchdown, Darling I. Okay, this is actually interesting because Anxiety, right? Again, given what I just said, are we counting this as a best rap performance, or are we just giving it a little bit of a pass because it's Doechii, right? I thought her music video was great. I thought it almost gave like a Broadway effect, which I think is really cool how she like combined hip hop, pop, and like Broadway into one song. I think, again, with that in mind, she's going to be hard to beat. Chains and Whips, Clipse. I think that's going to be hard to beat because it felt like they performed this track everywhere, right? So even then, like I said, I think Clipse with their album rollout, they knew what they were doing. Like if we perform the songs the right way and really get them in front of different audiences and mass platforms, like we're gonna allow people to hear what we're spitting. And so I think with that alone, like the campaign of it all, Clipse has a chance. I was really impressed with Tyler's Darling I. I was really impressed with that. And even if we're thinking of the music video, right? Like having Nia Long on that joint, like, come on, like that's gonna get people in itself. But this song, I think it would have been even bigger in like 2004. This would have went crazy in 2004. And to me, it has a legit chance to win. That performance, that song from Tyler, really dope. I was really impressed with that song. Really, like listening to it with fresh ears, I was really impressed. I was really impressed. That, like, I would not sleep on Tyler for this best rap performance. And I think, again, Cardi B and Kendrick Lamar, even, they just got caught inside better competition in my opinion. I think, which is saying a lot considering how much I like TV Off and how popular it was. Obviously, Cardi B dropped her album. Honestly, I didn't listen to her album, but I saw highlights. Obviously, Outside was one of her bigger songs of the year. Um, Up there with the Imaginary Players remix, right, that she did. But again, I just think she's in a tough category. It's hard to beat Anxiety. It's going to be really hard to beat Darling I, in my opinion. And again, if Clipse is really trying to do something like crazy sweep, they got a chance too. So again, that's my top three. Like, honestly, if I'm going, let's give it to like a different artist. Like, or I shouldn't say different artists, but let's just, with this category, give it to somebody different. I would probably go Tyler, Doechii, Clipse as the top three. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Clipse, Doechii, Tyler, but Ooh, man. Not saying it out loud though. Something is telling me that Tyler the Creator or Doechii is gonna walk away with this Grammy. I love what Clipse did with Chains and Whips. It's enforcing. It reminds you of No Church in the Wild. You know, when No Church in the Wild came out, it was it. It was it. And I get those same vibes with Chains and Whips, but Anxiety and Tyler, like they really put on a performance. So, we'll see how it goes. But it's gonna, to me, I would pick one of those two if we just don't want Clipse to win all the awards. And then the last category is Best Melodic Rap Performance. This is always an interesting category because sometimes they like to put songs that aren't necessarily melodic, not the angelic melody that you think of when you hear the word melodic. But I thought they did pretty good with this year. Friday and Meek Mill with Proud of Me. JID, Ty Dolla Sign, and Black with Wholeheartedly. Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Luther, Party Next Door and Drake, Somebody Loves Me, and Terrace Martin and Kenny and Dixon featuring Rhapsody, We Made You. All right. And again, with fresh ears, okay, going down the list. I love the way Friday and Meek Mill poured their hearts out on Proud of Me. That's a really deep record, right? It's got themes of grief and things of that nature. Really touches the heartstrings. I think, Meek always had a way of doing that. And this is one of those songs. And again, I was not mad at this. I'm not mad at this nomination. I think it's a really, really dope song. I think JID, Ty Dolla Sign, and Black, what they did, that's smooth. Okay, that is smooth. But it just didn't pull me in how even Friday and Meek Mill did, right? I thought Friday and Meek Mill pulled me in a little bit more than JID, although that like the beat and everything, song structure was really smooth from JID, but it just didn't pull me in like the other ones. The next one, Terrace Martin, Kenyon Dixon, and Rhapsody, We Made. That is a jazz masterpiece where lyrics and the instruments are on one accord the entire duration. It is a short song, it is a quick listen, but for what it is a jazz masterpiece. Great quality, and I think it would honestly, I would pick this one as the winner by far if it had as much impact as Luther. Okay, again, hard to beat what Kendrick and SZA did. They basically made the wedding song of like the next generation, right? The way a lot of, obviously people like, I would say a lot of millennials and maybe some Gen Z millennials, but definitely millennials, how they feel about You're All I Need, Mary J, and Method Man, I think is how like my generation and probably the next generation is gonna feel about Luther playing that song at weddings and parties and whatnot. Like it's just gonna be the perfect encapsulation of falling in love in the year 2025, right? Like I just think Luther had that impact with Kendrick and obviously the tribute to Luther Vandross, like it was great. It was great. If the Terrace Martin, Kenyon Dixon, and Rhapsody joint had that fanfare, I think they should win it by a mile. To me, that's that record right there. Drake and Party Next Door. I think to me it was a prototypical early mid 2010 song for the ladies. I just wasn't too impressed. When I listened to it with fresh ears, I immediately was just thinking of all the girls that I mean, shout out 2016, duck lips and dog filters. I mean, I thought of that. I thought again, early 2010s Instagram, right? When Instagram first came out. I think of that. Everybody was using different filters and duck lips and peace signs. Like it was just that. It satisfied that era for me. And, I just wasn't too impressed with compared to the other songs in this category. So again, for me, I think it's Luther, We Made, Friday and Meek Mill with Proud of Me, JID, and then Drake are probably going to be fighting for fourth and fifth. That to me, I don't really care about that because I think but I solidify that top three for me at least. I would give the slight edge to Luther, but boy, Terrace Martin, Kenya Dixon, and Rhapsody did they thing. I would not be surprised if the Grammys was like, you know what, let's give it to them. But I do think obviously Luther is going to get that award. So those are some of my brief thoughts on the rap categories of the Grammys. Definitely let me know what you think. All right, this is always the best time of year where we get to go back and forth of who we think is going to win or who we think deserves to win, or are the Grammys going to, are they going to get it right this year or are they not? So we'll have to see.